So yeah, before we begin, remember that every NBL game this season is available on SteinTV YouTube channel. Full games, highlights, real coverage. If you want to follow Tanzanian basketball the right way, SteinTV ndio home yako. And when you watch closely, especially this season, you'll notice something interesting. That's what I want to talk about today. All right, a lot of faces in our league are not originally from here. I called it league, right? I should call it a tournament because that's where we are right now. I think the league has ended. We're in a tournament right now, but that's not the story here. The story is the faces, players from different countries, players from different clubs, some of them joining mid-season. All right, now mid-season, let me explain that. I believe, the league is when you start playing at the local level, that competition before you make it, I guess, to the national level. For some countries it's different. I know for Kenya or Uganda, it might be different. And this is what I was talking about in my last video, just trying to understand, because I don't have that information. But for TZ, for Tanzania, I would say the season begins when you're playing for your regional league. And then when you're playing for NBL, that's mid-season. Some other teams have been eliminated and some other teams, keep going. So players are joining mid-season right after finishing another tournament. And one example that stands out is Romis Bujeje. Yes, Zone 5's most valuable player. He dominated the championship with Les Hippos from Burundi. Man, he was killing it. He grabbed a lot of rebounds. I mean, he was just impressive, really impressive. He gave the Kenyans fits, man. That finals game, that was an incredible game. It was a beautiful game against the Warriors. Yeah, Ulinzi Warriors. But anyway, today he is here in Tanzania playing for Kisasa in Dodoma. That's not a rumor. That's not speculation. He is playing. But Romis is not the issue. He's a reflection of how African basketball works. Right? Now, and before anyone thinks I'm pointing fingers, let me speak openly. Even my team, the Stein Warriors, has had foreign players or players from other clubs. When we went to Nairobi for the Zone 5 competition, we reinforced the squad with international players as well. So I'm not speaking as an outsider. I'm not pretending to be above the system. I'm speaking as someone who has lived inside it, someone who has had to make those very same decisions under the very same competitive pressure. I would say every coach competing at a high level in Africa has had to face. Because when you're trying to win at a high level, you do what every team does. You bring in reinforcements when you need them. But acknowledging that doesn't change the bigger conversation that I'm trying to have with you guys right now. The migration phenomenon. Across East Africa and across the whole continent, we're seeing the same pattern. When a team gets eliminated, players don't stop. They just move on. They move to the next league that's active. They move to the next club that needs reinforcement. They move to the next tournament that starts in a week. Seasonal contracts, short tournaments, flexible transfer rules. The system makes this movement normal. It normalizes it. Heck, it is expected. Well, if you're a good player. The impact, and like everything in sports, this has a positive side and a negative side. The positive, it raises the level of competition, most definitely. Exposure increases. Local players get to compete against higher level talent, like what we're seeing with Romis, like what we were seeing with Cisco going to play for the Dolphins, like what we're seeing with Jonas. Clubs push themselves to improve, to organize better. But the other side is real. The negative. Constant migration makes long-term development difficult. Young local players lose minutes. Teams struggle to build identity. Coaches can't develop a consistent core. Domestic leagues become temporary stopovers instead of long-term homes. We get short-term performance. Oh, yes, we do. But we slow down long-term growth. The big question. So yes, Romis Bujeje playing in our NBL is a great example of how talent moves across Africa. Great. But his story is also a mirror showing a basketball system that rewards movement, but doesn't always reward stability. And for Tanzanian basketball, for NBL, and for East Africa as a whole, we need to ask ourselves, are we building for right now? Or are we building for the future?